Today on the Tiger Lacrosse Report, we'll review the Tigers' victory over UMass. Get ready, fans. The Tiger Lacrosse Report starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and is locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Hello and welcome to the Tiger Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas. The Tigers were back inside Johnny Unitas Stadium this past weekend to play host to the UMass Minutemen. The Tigers got off to a quick start and defeated the Minutemen by a score of 11-8. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Young tries to move in, can't, throws top of the box to Mazza. Mazza shoots, scores. John Mazza with his 11th goal of the year, and the Tigers take a 1-0 lead with 6:44 to go. Up. Drenner feeds on the left to Sider. Sider back up top to Ryan. Feed down low, shot by Kinnear, and he scores. UMass is saying that Kinnear was in the crease. The official says no, he wasn't. And Towson takes a 2-0 lead as Dylan Kinnear with that goal for the Tigers, and that is his second of the season. Turns, passes back behind the Conan, bounce it out left to Sider. Joe works it down low. Shot taken and a score by Dylan Kinnear, his second of the afternoon. So Kinnear, who came in with just 1 goal on the year, has scored 2 here today, and the Tigers take a 3-0 lead. Mazza works it behind the Drenner. Feet up top. Lynch with the goal as Mike from about 10 yards out on the right side gets his 7th of the year, and the Tigers with a 5-0 lead with 10:05 to go in the first half. Bianchin working on short stick. Zach Goodrich takes it back behind the cage. Comes up the left side. Trying to get his hands free, and he does, and he scores. Scoots it along the ground, and the first goal of the game. Far side to Muller. Now behind the trainer. Feed back over to Muller, who will shoot and score in the bottom right corner of the net. And it's 7-2 Tigers as Muller with his 14th goal of the year. He'll come down the right. Feeds cross field to Bogart, who shoots and scores his first goal of the game and his 20th of the year, and it's 8-4 with 12:42 to go here in the third quarter.
Bit of a rough first half.
Yeah, he's only played 6 minutes all year. Behind, Conan feeds in front to Bowicki. Behind the back shot, and he scores! Brian Bowicki gives the Tigers a 9-4 lead with his 7th of the year. Goodrich trying to run it down, and he does. Gets through a triple team and brings it over midfield. He comes streaking down. Goodrich winds, shoots and scores 11-7. Tigers go back up 4 as Zach Goodrich with his 6th goal of the year.
8 different Tigers scored in the contest, and Ryan Drenner tied his career high with 4 assists. Towson is now 6-3 overall, 2-0 in the conference play, and ranked 16th in the nation. As always, I'm joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Shawn Nadelen. And Coach, this was a game that was a little different than what we had seen in, say, the past 4 or 5 ball games, and that's you guys got off to a really quick start offensively. What was it that was different?
We're putting our shots on cage in good spots. That was really the big change for us. We were generating, first off, as a team, I thought we came out with really nice energy. I thought we came out, attacking UMass, really aggressive mindset. But offensively, we generated some nice opportunities, and we put the ball in good spots, tough spots for a goalie to save. We changed the plane of our shots, going either high to low, low to high. Mike Lynch and actually got a really nice one, high to high, but just a lot of velocity and a perfect spot on the cage. So tough to see for a goalie, but it was good to see those guys. Obviously a couple goals in the first quarter, but then second quarter really turn it on and then fill up the net.
Yeah, and you got a couple of goals from Dylan Kinnear. As we said, 8 different players scoring, so you got a lot of guys in the mix. That's got to help.
It does, and I think that's always been, especially the past few years, a credit to our offense, a credit to the system, Coach Ghilardi has instilled with regards to everybody's got a vital role and everybody's important when they're out there. All 6 guys working together doing 1/6. They're all dangerous, and they need to be, to put defenses on, in pressure situations, to have to cover everybody and not just say, all right, this person, if they touch the ball, they're not a threat. Everybody was a threat, and when you get your opportunities, you got to cash in on them, and that's something that we missed out on in some previous games, especially in the first half, where we'd get nice opportunities, but we just weren't finishing the play off with a goal. This game, we did a pretty good job of that in the first half.
The other thing that you guys were doing was defensively, you were creating turnovers and just physical with UMass. It helps the offense when the defense is getting you the ball all the time.
It does. And Woodall, obviously, at the X was doing a good job there, especially with that wing play, doing a good job. Coach Kachi, did a great job preparing our guys defensively for what UMass, was going to bring to the table from their offense. Not just personnel, but systems. I feel like our guys, were in position to be a little bit of a step ahead at times. UMass was able to get some transition stuff going, which we got to continue to work on and be better at. But in regards to 6-on-6, our guys did, I thought, a decent job for the most part. Definitely some some hiccups here and there, things we got to clean up with communication and off-ball positioning. But I thought they did a pretty good job.
Against Drexel, Matt Hoy got his first career start. He had 10 saves, but this week you went back to Josh Miller, and Josh played a very nice ball game. What is it that goes into your decision as to who's going to be the starting goalie?
I wish I knew. It's those guys, and I told them both last week. Don't ever do what we're doing as coaches. Especially with 2 guys like that are making our decision making very difficult because they're playing well. They're both doing a good job in the cage. The thing is, we're going to try to go with one, for a game, unless we feel like we got to make a change, during the game if somebody's not feeling it. And that's a credit to those guys, especially a guy like Matt Hoy who, wasn't the starter early on, ends up getting an opportunity against Drexel, does a good job, coming in and then plays a strong game. And then, in practice this past week, both goalies played decent. We felt like Josh had a stronger week overall. And was sharp. I felt like even though in the game he maybe was a little too anxious or amped up in the game, being that he was back out there and playing, because he looked a little tight at times. But again, throughout the week, he did a good job, and we're just going to continue to evaluate and continue to see who we think deserves to be out there on game day, and the defense can rally around it, and those guys obviously appreciate the opportunity.
Speaking of your defense, giving up just over 8 goals a game as they continue to play just very, very well all year long.
I think they're doing a good job. They can definitely do better. We still lack some clear decision making and communicating and transition opportunities that either the goalies have bailed us out at times or teams have bailed us out with poor passing. We need to be a little bit more structured there in our transition defense. But they're doing a good job, continuing to gel, continuing to work together. They're playing within what we want to do defensively as a system. We keep it pretty simple for those guys. And obviously when you got, good talent up top, with our defensive midfield unit and, good talent continuing to develop below them, it helps, obviously with those guys working together.
Then the other thing we saw on Saturday was that your extra man, you got a couple of goals. It's been a long time. You went through a very long drought in extra man situations. What did you see differently this week that enabled you guys to score as opposed to the drought that you had where you weren't getting the ball in extra man, getting the goals in extra man situations?
I think some of the tough thing for our extra man is that we haven't had a lot of opportunities in games. We've had maybe one, none at times, maybe a couple here and there.
And
so
some have been
man,
30 seconds, so it's
right,
tough.
It's that, or it's, the end of game and you're not looking to score, you're just kind of killing time, things like that. So, which was the case on this past Saturday. So that, we just haven't had a ton of game-like reps at times. But I also think, we did a good job simplifying kind of our men up and putting our players in position to be successful, not worrying so much about plays and sets and things like that. Coach Gallardi did a good job just kind of stripping it down, do something early maybe as far as movement and then get settled into where we want to be in a certain set and let those guys make plays as lacrosse players. They're, for the most part, all of them are veteran guys out there that have played a lot of lacrosse for us, and they should be able to make good lacrosse plays.
That will do it for us on today's episode of the Tiger Lacrosse Report. Join us next time when we preview the Tigers' trip to the University of Delaware. For head coach Shawn Nadelen, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Tigers.